Hello everyone, this is the video for step-by-step instructions in order to fill Schedule A background declaration Immigration 5669E form. So this is the new form as per June 2019. So it is the form which is currently being used in 2022. So I will give the step-by-step instructions. So first of all, you need to declare in this form whether you are the principal applicant or the spouse. So let us assume you are the principal applicant. Then here you need to basically mention your family name and you need to enter your given name. Then since you are an Indian, if you are an Indian, you need to mention your name in Hindi scripture over here. So this is not possible using the keyboard. So what you have to do is fill the form as much as possible. I'm telling as much as possible because sometimes the space is not sufficient. So you need to fill the information as much as possible. At the end of the form, you need to provide your signature. You can provide that in black ink, and then you need to also mention your name in Hindi scripture over here. Now here you need to mention your date of birth, add your father's name, okay, and then you need to add the date of birth of your father as per the official records, as per your passport. Then you need to enter the town or city of birth as mentioned in the passport of your father. Then you need to mention the country of birth and date of deceased if it is applicable. Now for example, the pay, if it is not applicable, then you need to mention not applicable here. Ignore this, click on OK. Then mention your mother's detail. Mention the date of birth as per mother's passport. Then the city of birth as per the passport, country of birth as per the passport. If it is not applicable to you, then do not just mention not applicable. Then these are the details asking if you have been convicted of any crime. So if there are if the answer to any of these questions is yes, then you need to provide your details over here in this blank space. Now if the answer is no, then you need to click on this. Have you been convicted of crime? No. Convicted or charged with crime or offense? No. Refugee protection in Canada, have you claimed previously? No. Have you been refused refugee status? No. So these all are no. Have you been planned or advocated the use of armed struggle? No. No. Member of organization? No. That was involved in criminal activity. Have you ever been put in jail? Of course, Mohandas Gandhi was put in jail, but here now for the fictional character or in most of the cases, the applicants are not put in jail. Had any serious disease? No. Then given the number of schools you successfully completed for each of the following levels of education. So the secondary school is from 7th standard, and from 9th standard it is considered as high school. So from 6 to 12, from 7 to 12, you need to count the number of years, which is counted as 6. So you need to enter secondary plus high school as 6 years. Elementary and primary school. So elementary education is kindergarten, which is 2 years. Then primary is school is from 1 to 6. So in total, this is like 8 years. Then university, if you have done only bachelor's, and if it is 4 years bachelor, enter 4. If you have done 3-year bachelor, so enter it as 3. But if you have done bachelor's and master's, so 4 plus 2, you can enter it as 6. If you have done PhD as well, which is a 4-year PhD, then you need to enter 6 plus 4, which is basically 10. So depending on your situation, let us assume that one has done bachelor's and master's. So that is 6 years. So this one you can leave it blank if you have never been to trade school or post-secondary school. And then basically you need to enter the details. So let us assume that you might have done the masters in 2 years. So this is 2018 to 05, and then you basically add the name of the institution, then just mention the name of the city and country. Okay, and then type of a certificate which is, so you can just enter master's degree, and the field of study, maybe it is communications and information technology. Now as you can see that I'm not able to fill this complete information, so what we are going to do is we are going to leave it blank. Okay, so once we enter all of the details in our form as much as possible, we will enter those details, then print it out, then make a signature using pen, and the same pen will be used to fill that information, communication or information technology over here, and it will be scanned and submitted in the portal. So in the same way, we are talking about bachelor's, for example. So we enter those details, and in the same way, if any of this information, maybe the institution name is too long, so we leave it blank so that we can fill it later with pen. And then basically you can enter the details of your school. You can basically enter the details of your 11th standard here. Then you can enter the details of your elementary or primary school. Since the secondary education, so you need not enter the details for the elementary and primary school. You can just enter the details until here and fill in all of these details. Now here we are going to the personal history since the age of 18 years or the past 10 years, whichever is most recent, and start with the most recent information. So it is really important. And here they are asking about the activity instead of activity type. Previously, we were asked activity type when we filled in the application on .ca portal, but here it is not activity type, it is activity. So if you were occupied or if you had a job, you need to make sure that you are entering the job title, and you need to start with the recent information. So you will first enter the details of your present job. Maybe you started it recently, and then you basically mention the occupation. Maybe you are a data scientist, and then you enter the city or town or country. So let us assume you are in this country, and now the status in country or territory. So you basically need to mention the visa status, and then you need to mention the name of the company or employer or school or facility, whichever is applicable. In this case, we are talking about the name of the company. So if the company name is very large, for example, if it is Oracle Corporation, then the blank is sufficient, so we can basically enter. And in the similar way, we need to make sure that we are not leaving any gaps. So whenever you are going to enter a to date, you need to make sure that it is either overlapping with the from date, or it is just behind it. So maybe this is until 2021 and 12th month. So you see there is no gap that is left. But don't make up the dates. If you were unemployed during any duration, you need to make sure that you mention that. For example, you might have been like unemployed for 4 months. Then in that case, you just need to mention that you were unemployed. And in that case, you just need to mention where you were located. Maybe you were located in Hyderabad, India. And what is the status? You are a citizen of India. So just mention citizen, and name of the company or employer. This is not applicable because you were not doing any job. So if you are studying, you need to mention studying. If you are unemployed, unemployed, traveling, retired, in detention. Or if you were doing a job, you need to mention the name of the job title. So that needs to be mentioned. So status in the country, it can be H1B, citizen, resident, permanent resident. So you need to make sure. And as you know, you might have the personal history beyond 5 rows. So in that case, what we need to do, so that is really important. In such case, what you need to do is you need to enter the 5 rows here. Okay, the same 5 rows need to be entered into a Word file, and this needs to be later converted to PDF and attached to the immigration 5669 form at the end of the 5 pages, and you need to submit it along. But to make sure that the officer knows to check the Word file, you need to mention something here. So you fill all the 5 rows, okay, as much as possible. Any missing information you will add with pen. Now with pen, after printing out, you just need to write in this additional space, please see attached sheet. So you need to mention it over here with pen. So that will make sure that the officer checks the additional sheet. Now in the additional sheet, you need to make sure that you are writing your name, you are writing the form title, and you are mentioning the question number. Now this is question number 8, and this is personal history. So you need to make sure that you mention detailed information and additional rows. The first 5 rows will be same as the rows those are mentioned over here. Okay, and then you need to continue any additional details that you are adding, as many number of rows. But make sure that you mention the name, form title, and question number on each page of the Word file. And you can add your name and date of birth in the header as well. So in this way, the personal history will be completed, and you need to save this file as a PDF file and merge the immigration 5669 form and this PDF file, and you need to submit it. Now, membership of any association with organizations. Maybe you are associated with any professional organization. So you can mention over here from this date to present, name of organization, Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers, which is basically IEEE, but you should never use the abbreviations. So since I'm not able to fill it completely, I will print it out and write the name with pen. What is the type of organization? It is a professional association. So the space is not sufficient. I'll write with the pen. What is the activity or positions which is held? Maybe you are IEEE member, so it is just member. What is the city and country? So you need to mention the city and the country you were associated with this organization. So once in such way, you need to add the information of all the organizations that you are associated with. And then government position, most of the people do not have this government position. It was the same case with me, so I just wrote it as none, 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 none. You need to mention these. Okay, once this is done, you need to mention if you have any military and paramilitary service. If that is the case, you need to mention the name of the country and the other details. If not, you just need to mention none, 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 none. In the same way, this is none, none, none. Okay, once this is done, here in the addresses as well, you need to start whichever is the most recent. Do not use PO box addresses. And also, since 18th birthday or the past 10 years, so in the same way you need to enter the details, whichever is the most recent. Then mention the street, a number and street name: St. Nicholas 23, Anchorage, Alaska state. Then the zip code and the country. And then make sure you write the to date first, which is 2021/12. And you can basically mention your details over here. Okay, so in that way you can enter those details. But I would think that most of the people would require more number of rows in order to list all the addresses they have lived since 18th birthday or the past 10 years. So whatever the details you can fill over here, so please fill them. Then you need to add additional rows in this Word file. So for that, after you print, you need to write over here, please see attached sheet. And then you need to write your name, the form title, the question number, which is question 12, addresses. You write the detailed information and the additional rows. So you see here you have around 10 rows. These 10 rows need to be repeated over here. And if there are additional details, like you want to mention the road name, road number, the name of the municipality, so you can mention all those details and add the additional rows that is required beyond this. So once this is done, this is the signature. It should not be an electronic signature, it should be a written signature. So for that you need to print out this form and then sign. And here the date as well, you can select the date of today, and then you can just print this form and then make a signature over here, and make sure you fill all of the details which are missing. Okay, and in some cases what happens is the zip code is not available for a few countries. In such case you need to write not applicable, but it is not possible on computer, so you need to write that with pen over here. So thank you guys. If you have any questions or any specific details with respect to your case in respect of immigration 5669 form, then you can let me know in the comment sections, so I can answer those questions as per my experience. Thank you very much.